What's up, guys? It's your boy Dubboi Youngin, and I'm back for another video. Sorry if the audio come out a little crazy. I'm just trying to test this new mic I got. So let's get into it. So as we left off, Naruto and Sasuke went off with Jiraiya to go train. So of course we know they gonna eventually run into Tsunade, and they do manage to get her to go back to the village. They do run into Itachi and Kisame, but in this timeline it's different because Kisame and Itachi won't expect Naruto and Sasuke to know how to do this one thing. So we're gonna start talk about it right now. And sorry if my voice may seem like a little choppy or I may like miss say words and like stutter and whatnot. I don't speak with a script. I just say what's on top of my head and just run with it because that's how you're supposed to do as a real person who come up with real storylines and stuff like that. You feel me? So anyway, let's get into it. So we start off at the infamous apartment where Itachi knocks on the door with so much polite manners and stuff. And you would think that a person who killed an entire clan of his and it joined basically a terrorist group, you wouldn't think they'll do something like that. Have so much like, so much like but hey, he does. If you know what I'm talking about. So, anyways, Naruto opens the door like in the original, except instead of just standing there all shocked and frozen, he actually steps back with his sister, and they both instantly power up to their four tail state. That's right. His sister manages to learn how to awaken her four-tail state and control it because on the way to the place they actually was training together while Jiraiya was too busy doing his research, as he may call it. So while Jiraiya was doing his research, they was both training with each other, so therefore they was able to get immensely stronger and actually train a lot, and it helped them out in the end. So fast forward, they was able to fight Itachi and Kisame, and actually they was actually speed blitzing the mess out of both of them. Like, and you would think that Naruto can't beat Itachi. Itachi has the Megega Sharingan. He has Infinite Tsukiyomi. It doesn't matter because in this moment he can't use that because he has to take the 9 tails and actually extract it for the 10 tails to be born. So he can't kill Naruto or Sasuke. Well, not yet at least. So of course he's not gonna want to use no extreme moves like that. So of course Naruto and Sasuke, so they do speed blitz him like I said, and they do actually keep up with Itachi and Kisame. They actually is beating down Sasuke is beating down Kisame, and Naruto is doing his thing against Itachi. So, and Itachi never suspected that these two kids would be this powerful, but yet they are in their four-tail state. Because put it like this, in the original timeline, the four-tail state of Naruto out of control was able to keep up with Orochimaru, even beat Orochimaru down. So just imagine what 2 four-tail state children can do with while he's controlled, and they have control of the powers. Dude, that would be an insane fight, and they would be able to beat down Itachi easily. So anyways, Itachi sees there's no real way to actually win this fight, so they have to leave because, it was supposed to be a stealth mission, but, it ended up becoming much more than that. And then when Jiraiya came, it only furthered them wanting to leave, so Kisame and Itachi both leave, and it's that. I don't think the Sasuke hallway thing will happen though, because I feel like this events would happen like a lot earlier. And plus, with Naruto and Sasuke actually fighting them, even if Sasuke did show up, he wouldn't have a chance to fight Itachi because simply due to the fact that they was already fighting him, and they were actually doing a pretty good job. But I just say this: Sasuke shows up at the last minute when they're fighting, so he sees Naruto being able to fight his brother, and he's actually grown more jealous of Naruto because he couldn't believe that not only was his brother looking for Naruto specifically, but Naruto was able to keep up with his own brother, who was supposedly one of the strongest ninjas in the Shinobi world currently. So it kind of angered Sasuke, but at the same time, he wasn't really that angry, so he ended up leaving. Now, since this happens, he doesn't get put under the genjutsu that makes him see his family die 500,000 sometimes. So you're welcome, audience, by the way. You're welcome by that. So anywho though, they both managed to leave the apartment and then get back to Jiraiya. Well, Jiraiya was already there, so they all pretty much plan to leave. So they leave and they go to Mount Miyaboku and they do train, and all this happening within the 2.5 years. So we gonna just fast forward to when they go back to the village. So they come back to the village, and they both confirm that they got a lot stronger to Hinata, who runs up to them and hug them both, and then she hugs Naruto again. And this time, Naruto kisses her in the mouth, though. So it shocks her and make her pass out this time. And it's funny, too, because the whole interaction is just funny and cute. But, Neji being Neji, you have to, show people who's boss around here, especially when it comes to Hinata and stuff. He wants to fight Naruto. So him and Naruto fight. And then Naruto is actually able to keep up with Neji in his base, but he doesn't see a reason to play around with Neji. And he enters Sage mode, and with Sage mode, he easily makes quick work of Neji. And then Neji notes that he's actually gotten pretty stronger, and he wondered what that form was he just used. And Naruto says that this is the infamous perfect Sage of the Toads, however he'll actually say it. And then Neji will be pretty impressed, and he asks could she do it, and he said yes. Both me and my sister can both use Sage mode. And so, Senjutsu Chakra is very powerful in the Naruto universe. So, they're going to be some very OP kids at this moment. Because at this moment, Naruto and Sasuke are both far exceed anybody else in the village. And oh yeah, by the way, they both managed to awaken up to their 8-tail states. I've got to mention that along with their perfect Sage mode. So, expect them to be able to use a certain form earlier than expected if I make it out to be that way. So we go into like Naruto and Hinata both training with each other, and Hinata actually reveals she also got a new ability, and she ends up having this mark appear on her forehead like a diamond shape, and these lines end up appearing across her body. And she said, "Mitotic, whatever the heck Tsunade said, in order to make her lines appear on her body for the 100 Helix mark." I forgot what it's called, but I'm sure I'll be correct in the comment section. If not, oh well, so be it. And so they both fight. And so she activates her Byakugan at the same time, and this forces Naruto to activate his Sage mode. Now Naruto with his Sage mode is actually like lacking in terms of like fighting her, because with the Byakugan and 100 healing jutsu, her Byakugan prowess can go on forever and ever. Her abilities can be spammed for like a long period of time without ever stopping. So Naruto is forced to try to like use his tails transformation on top of his Sage mode, kind of like how he did with KCM2 in Sage mode, except it's just the tails transformation in Sage mode right now. And so he does that, and he uses up to like the 3 tails, and up to the 3 tails is just enough to actually beat Hinata. So Naruto noted that she has gotten a lot stronger, that it took him to actually stack powers on top of one another in order to even have a chance at beating her with the 100 Helix Jutsu. But Hinata says, truthfully be told, that wasn't her full power, and that she could actually gotten higher than that in terms of power. And Naruto was actually shocked at this, because he cannot believe that she's even stronger than what she was currently using, while he had to basically go beyond his limits in order to actually beat her. So he's actually thoroughly impressed. And so they both pretty much walk around the village, and just see the village and how it's been changed so much in the past 2.5 years. And Naruto notes that it has indeed changed and it's gotten a lot better. And so we all know what's going to happen, right? You're going to have the Kaze rescue mission and all those other events transpire. Well, this is the thing. After Gaara is kidnapped, Naruto and Sasuke, they do rescue them, and except they actually kill Deidara and Sasori, because before then they trained, and they both was able to use their perfect Sage mode on top of their Tails Beast Chakra. So they both used their Tails 3 state with their perfect Sage mode, and it allowed them both to actually kill Sasori and Deidara when they found Gaara, because we know Deidara was the one who actually got Gaara, and both him and Sasori was in that big rock formation, if I remember correctly. So it'll make sense if they both actually killed Deidara and Sasori. So Deidara and Sasori are dead, so there would be no need for somebody like Sakura, like in the original, to fight with the grandma, because he already be killed beforehand. And so Naruto and Sasuke both report back to Tsunade that 2 of the Akatsuki are killed, and that they need to definitely link up with like the other villages to take out the rest of the Akatsuki. And so Naruto comes up with a plan though, that he should find like other Jinchurikis besides themselves that can actually be strong enough to combat the Akatsuki, along with other strong high tier characters. And so Tsunade said that's a great idea. So she said that they should take Kakashi, they should bring Hinata, because she has the 100 healing jutsu along with Byakugan. She'll be very useful. And then Tsunade notes that the Raikage at the Cloud Village will possibly be willing to help. And so they go to the Cloud Village, and they actually ask the Raikage for help. And the Raikage, he agrees, because he figures that a nuisance like this needs to be dealt with immediately. And while this is happening, Sasuke was a Orochimaru. He had the long sleeve shirt with the slit in the front. Looked like a little girl, babe. It is what it is. And so since all this events happen, they don't get Sai on their team, because, Sai isn't needed, since there's Naruto, Saruto, and then there's, Hinata. So I don't think Sai come around, or if he do, he'll probably come around for Sakura, because, Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke's team are going to be short one member. So I think it'll be Sakura and Shikamaru. But I don't think that's going to really happen, because, like, it is probably not gonna happen. So, anyways, though we moving forward, they managed to get to the Cloud Village, and Killer B actually meets Naruto and Saruto, and he knows that they have great chakra within inside them, and that he can help them actually control the Tail Beast power to use it more to power their own. They said they already can, but B says no, you can't. And he reveals to them that each Jinchuriki can use a tail beast transformation that far exceeds what they're using. And so they go off and train with Killer B, of course. So they both go to the infamous waterfall place where Naruto went in the original timeline, where he was able to train. But this time, both Naruto and Saruto go. So they both managed to go train and get immensely powerful. Now, I ain't gonna say the waterfall place. They probably gonna go somewhere. Well, they could still. Yeah, let's keep it like that. So they go to the place. They both fight their evil sides of themselves. The evil side is not really powerful though, because since they had each other and they wasn't really never alone, they was able to be a lot more happier, and they made each other happy and proud of each other. So their evil side wasn't really that powerful. So they was able to subdue it, and they was able to, like, take over Karama's chakra, and then in turn they was able to, use the KCM1. Now for Saruto it was a lot easier because she had the chains from her mother Kushina, so she's able to wrap Kurama in the chains and actually take the chakra from it a lot easier. But Naruto, he struggled because he don't have the chains like she does, so he had to really use his Sage mode on top of the Tail Beast chakra that he could use and actually beat Kurama with brute strength. So at the end of the day, they both unlock KCM1, and it's cool. So B noted that they are a lot stronger than State now, and then they both said, wow, so this is the power of the full transformation of a QB and its Jinchuriki. That's amazing. But before they can bask in his glory, B does say that they need to make haste because they still need to take out the rest of the Akatsuki. So they say right, and they move along. And so the Raikage and Tsunade, they all agree that Naruto and Saruto and Killer B will be on the front lines with Raikage and Tsunade and Hinata and Kakashi. And they go arrange some other shinobi to come along with from the Cloud and the Leaf to actually assist them in fighting the rest of the Akatsuki. And so in their travels, they managed to find let's see who they find. Let's say Hidan and Kakuzu, because they're just walking in a regular average forest, and so they end up catching up to them and actually fighting them. So Naruto and Saruto are able to actually fight them both and actually doing a pretty decent job. And so Naruto and Saruto, no waste no time, they use KCM1 because they figured that this power would be just enough to defeat them, and they was right, because KCM1 is a lot stronger in this scenario since they both actually trained a lot together. So they both were able to beat Hidan and Kakuzu. They realized by Kakuzu is, well, no, Hidan is, he's immortal, so they'll need to find a way to defeat him. So luckily Naruto came with an idea to just bury him under a lot of rubble, and so with the Rising Shuriken, he broke the ground that was under Hidan, thereby having him fall into the ground. And so with a regular Rasengan from Saruto, she breaks some more rubble, and it covers him and it smashes his head in, and it actually breaks his head apart from his body. So Hidan is no more. And Kakuzu, he was finished with the Rising Shuriken that Naruto threw the first time, because he threw two of them, one to kill Kakuzu and the other one to destroy the ground to Hidan. And so they finished them two off. So there's only Toby, Conan, Pain, and I think that's it. Toby, Conan, and Pain, and those Zetsus, Black and White Zetsu, because all the other Akatsuki have been defeated. So, and at this moment, Itachi's death got back to Sasuke that, Naruto and Saruto defeated him. So although he was angered, he's also actually happy because he remembered what Itachi told him when he was younger, that if he takes his eyes, get eyes like his, he'll get a power beyond his belief. And he was telling about the light and stuff. So he ended up finding Itachi's body. He took his eyes, and it implants them inside of his body. Now I know what y'all thinking. When did they kill Itachi and Kisame? Remember that earlier fight where they both fought? They actually critically injured them without themselves even knowing. Because when Naruto used the Rasengan, he actually damaged them to a certain extent and killed them off. And I know it was back years ago, back when they first been in the hospital place. They killed each other. They got killed because they used the Rasengan, and the Rasengan, they used it to the extent to where it actually killed them both slowly. So in the 5-year gap, he would have died a lot early because of the Rasengan hit. So Itachi and Kisame are both dead. So, but it wasn't confirmed until we get up to this point that they was killed off. thanks to Naruto and Sarato's efforts. So Sasuke gets his brother's eyes. He gets the EMS like in the original. And Naruto and Sarto defeat more Akatsuki. So word is getting around quick that the Akatsuki are being dropped left and right like flies. And so this sends Pain into a fury because he cannot believe all his soldiers are dying quick. And so with that being said, Naruto and Sarto go back to the village. They figure that they need to take a break. And so the next day in the village, Pain arrives. And his pals... I'm sorry, I'm burping. I'm sorry about that. But his pals of Pain are causing a ruckus around the village, taking out innocent people and all that stuff. And Konohamaru is going to have his little moment where he used the Rasengan and actually like kill one of the Pains. He doing this thing. My boy Konohamaru. They should have done better than Boruto Bay. It is what it is. Anywho though, Pain destroys the village. Boruto, Sarto, and Hinata, all three of them Team 7 along with Kakashi, they all actually fight the rest of the Pains. Now Kakashi's actually doing a really good job against one of the Pains because with Kamui, he's able to take away their limbs and he's able to use the Chidori and bust open their heart and kill them. Hinata's able to use the Byakugan 100 Healings Jutsu, which allows her chakra to maintain itself, and she's able to use the Twin Lion Fist to take out the two other ones. So there's 3 down, 3 to go. So Sarto and Naruto take out the last 2, and then they face the last one, which is Yahiko's body, or the Deva Path, I believe is what it's called. And so with perfect Sage mode, they both was able to use Rising Shurikens, and both Rising Shurikens was able to land. Because thanks to Flying Rajin by Sarto, she teleported him right behind Pain before he can use his almighty push. And they was able to hit him with it, connecting, breaking out all his breaking them down on the cellular level and destroying them. Then since they have Sage mode, and since they have like, Sage mode, they able to like use the rod still, find Nagato, and then Naruto and Sarto go off. And sorry to tell y'all this, but in this timeline, Jiraiya still dies. Unfortunately, it sucks, but he does. And so Naruto and Sarto both go to the tree. They talk to Nagato about peace and whatnot. And Nagato realized that Naruto and Sarto are the beacons of peace and hope in the future. And so he does the Rene Rebirth Jutsu and brings everybody back to life that was killed. And Kakashi doesn't die in this one because he does fight with Naruto and Sarto, who are extremely powerful people along with Hinata, so he's able to live and survive long enough. And so, Hinata and Kakashi stayed back, but Kakashi ended up going to chase after them. So when Naruto and Sarto leaving the dang on forest, Sarto was carrying Naruto by his shoulder, but Naruto isn't following Kakashi's back. Then Kakashi holds on to like Sarto over his shoulder, and then as they're walking in the village, they all are noted as heroes. And finally, Naruto and Sarto are given like the respect that they need to get, because Lord knows they've been put through so much in their young lives, being ridiculed for being Jinchurikis of the village. But now they're regarded as heroes who saved the day from pain and ultimately brought peace to the leaf, for now at least. So all these events would have happened in out of order and kind of differently and at different times, because I feel like that's how it would have went down, because this is how I would have made a timeline if he had a twin sister. So hey, it is what it is. And so they make it back to the village. Hinata actually kisses Naruto. They had a little moment, kiss, hug. Sakura's a hater because she wish she had a man in a moment like that, but she don't, because the man she like is a rogue ninja and a terrorist. For real. And then Sarto actually has a moment with nobody other than Rock Lee. And we're gonna save that one for now though, because we ain't gonna really get into that. But they just had a little moment, and then we all go back to the village and everything's cool. And so fast forward into the war arc, you still have people like Obito around, because he was never killed, and the Zetsu is white and black. So yeah, those three still kicking and alive from the Akatsuki. And then now you got Obito aligning with Kabuto and all the other great stuff. So, and he does reanimation jutsu and bring all those dead warriors back to life, including Madara himself. So all that happens, and they fight. And the timeline pretty much remain relatively the same, except one thing. Naruto and Sarto would get KCM2 earlier than the war, because both Karamas was sensed that like Madara is back in the living world thanks to somebody's intervening. So they would have definitely wanted to give them both KCM2 their max amount of power they can get for now. And so when they got KCM2, Naruto and Sarto was surprised at the results. And so they both go onto the battlefield, and they both actually are able to beat down on reanimated Madara and put up a fight when he was trying to fight 1,000 Shinobi. With their combined powers of KCM2, Madara was actually struggling. He had to use his Rinnegan in order to absorb their ninjutsu. And so Naruto and Saruto know that he can absorb ninjutsu. And so they both thought, what if we use our Sage mode? And so they got out of KCM2 and they used Sage mode. And with Sage mode, they was able to actually land blows on him. Because with Taijutsu and Senjutsu combined, they both able to beat down the reanimated Madara. But since he has infinite chakra, they can't fight him for too long. They only can fight him enough to where he can get away from everybody and not kill too many shinobi. So they was able to draw him back thanks to Senjutsu and Taijutsu. They was able to draw him back, and he ran away and he retreated. For now, at least. But before he left, he tried to summon the Kurama out of both of them, but it didn't work because they both halves of the Kurama were sitting in both of the twins. So yeah, I bet he felt pretty stupid when he tried to do that. So instead, Madara just went away, and that's that. And we know he gonna go join up with Obito and all the other good stuff. But this time, I feel like since they both already activated KCM2, they would have definitely thought about combining KCM2 and Sage Mode together. So Naruto thought about it the whole way there. Can we just combine KCM2 with Sage Mode to make an even higher power? And Saruto say, you're right, let's try it. And so while combining KCM2 and Sage Mode, they're able to sense even more chakra of people throughout the entire world. That's how more stronger it is in this timeline. They can sense chakra and people throughout all the lands. And so they knew exactly where the other Madara was, even though we all know it's Obito Uchiha. So they go to that location because they sense Kakashi and Might Guy's chakra depleting a little because they must be using it in the battle. And so they make it to their side in split seconds, thanks to Flying Rajin and the incredible speed of KCM. They're able to make it there. So luckily, with our KCM2 and Sage Mode activated, they both use their Kurama avatars and use Biju Damas, and they were able to like destroy the rest of the tail beast for them stopping them. Hold up. Hello? Alright. Sorry, you guys. I was talking to my sister, but let's get back into this what if. So, I feel like that they would definitely cause a lot of damage and be able to destroy things and take down the Jinchurikis and the tail beast. So they get the tail beast chakra, and they both get all 9 tail beast chakra in their bodies. And the battle between Twins and Obito will commence. But I'm going to end it off right there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. What if? Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace.